Hi, I'm Adora, a content designer here at KiwiCo. And today we're building the KiwiCo Nom Bot crate. Are you ready to feed your hungry robot?
Yummy, yummy, yum.
Part A, build the frame. First, find these two wood pieces. The big cutout on this piece should face out as you slot the pieces together here. Next, grab this wood piece and click in a corner clip here, into the side opposite the E. If you ever need to remove the corner clip, just squeeze the open end to loosen it. Now, with the E facing outwards, attach all these pieces together here and here. Be sure the clip is fully connected. Then, slot your lever switch into the switch mount. The black wire should be facing up, and the green wire should be facing down, both pointing this way. Okay, turn the mount and feed the wires through this hole. And slide the mount over the edge of the wood, pushing the bottom through this slot. Next, secure the mount in place with a hinge pin and C-clip. If you need to remove a C-clip, use a pen or pencil to push it off. Then, push the toggle switch through here. And the wires should be arranged like this. Now, slide on this washer and twist on this nut. Time for our first stop and check. Check that the switch mount is fully inserted into the wood frame. Alright, slide the tray holder onto the motor shaft. The solid side of the tray should face this way, and the wires this way. Let's stop and check. Make sure the tray holder is pointing this way. If it's not, gently turn the tray holder to the right position. The motor shaft will turn with it. Next, push the kicker onto the motor shaft. It's a tight fit, so you may need to push hard, so try pressing the kicker against the table or asking for help. The solid side of the kicker should face out. Then, slide the motor into the motor housing, being sure to keep the wires out of the way. The curved corner should face this way, and the notches this way. It might be loose, but that's okay. Now, thread the long red and black wires connected to the toggle switch through this hole and up to the right. While keeping these two wires out of the way, thread the motor's yellow and blue wires through the square hole. And push the housing notches in here. The kicker should rest in front of the lever switch. Time for another stop and check. Make sure the motor is fully inserted into the wood frame. If it's not, wiggle the motor until it looks like this. Okay, turn the build around and slot the brace on the motor here. The holes should line up like this. Next, add a hinge pin and C-clip here. Then turn your build and add 2 more of each here and here. Now take this wood piece and insert a hinge pin here. Then, while keeping the wires to the right, hold on to the pin and align the piece with these 2 slots. Now align the bottom tab with this slot. Alright, let's stop and check. Make sure all the wood pieces are flat against each other with no gaps. Now place a C-clip on this hinge pin. Then attach a straight arm here and secure with the C-clip. Yay! You built the frame! Part B. Connect the wires. First, connect the 2 yellow wires together and the 2 blue wires together. It's important that you hold the wires at their connectors when you're working with them. Pulling directly on the wires could break them. Next, connect these black wires and these green wires. Okay, pull the tab out of your battery pack and make sure it's switched off. Then, connect the long red wire to the battery's red wire. And the long black wire to the battery's black wire. Now, while keeping the wires out of the way, place the battery here. The on-off switch should show on this side. Time to stop and check. Be sure everything is hooked up correctly and the connectors are pushed all the way in. Alright, take this piece with the KiwiCo logo and click in a corner clip here. Then, move the wires out of the way and attach the piece here. Next, carefully bunch up these wires together tightly. Now, while keeping these wires bunched tightly, align the bottom rails of your cover with these wood pieces. This piece lines up here, this piece lines up here, and this long part of the rail here should line up with this long wood piece. Then, carefully push the cover on until you hear a click. Another stop and check. Look down at the bot frame from above. The tray arm should be straight, centered between the shield and wood. Okay, click in the battery cover here. The lid should lie under these notches. Awesome, you connected the wires. Before moving on, let's stop and check. Turn the battery on. Press down on the toggle switch and watch the kicker flip that switch back up. If this doesn't happen, turn the battery pack off and make sure the tab on the battery pack is pulled out and that the wires on the battery pack, motor, switch, and toggle are all fully connected to the same color wires. Turn the battery back off before you keep building. Part C, finish the bot. First, grab this piece with A and B on the ends. With the A facing this way, click in a corner clip over it. Next, take this piece with A and D and attach it by matching A to A. Then, turn and add a corner clip to the B end. Now, attach the piece with B and C by matching the Bs. Next, put corner clips on each end of the piece with C and D. Next, pay close attention to where the letters are on this C and D piece. Then, turn and match up the Ds and Cs. I'll start here on the C side first. Alright, push the rail into these holes and secure it with 2 C-clips. Then, align these holes with the holes on the brace. Now, push a bar through here and put C-clips on each end. Next, turn your build around and push the tray into these 2 slots. Then, click the curved arm in here. Alright, before moving forward, take a second to turn your battery pack on, since you're about to cover it up. Okay, attach the container here. Then, fold down the tabs on the lid. And rest it inside the top of your build. Next, don't forget to add some wiggle eyes. I'll add some here and here. Now, just give your bot a snack. Anything small and lightweight will do. Then, press the arm to watch it nom. Pull out your container whenever you want to empty your bot. Congrats, you finished your bot. Now, if you run into any trouble while playing, don't worry, I've got some tips to help. If you turn your battery on and nothing happens, check that the wires are connected correctly and that all their connectors are pushed in firmly. If you turn on the battery and the tray moves up right away, make sure the toggle switch is facing right side up. You can also check that the colors of the wires in the back look like this. If the tray goes up but doesn't come back down, check that the kicker is placed correctly and that everything is secure. If the curved arm isn't triggering the toggle, check that everything is attached correctly. The shield should be on all the way, the arm should be fully connected, and the pusher on the bottom of the arm should sit on top of the toggle switch. Now, what exactly do you feed your bot? Well, here's some of its favorite things. Your bot can collect notes that you jot down, stash away your cash, your trinkets, even collect trash from your desk, like candy wrappers or pencil shavings. Its appetite is up to your imagination. Now, there's a lot of cool engineering happening to bring your bot to life. For example, you're probably wondering, how does it know when to eat and then to stop? Well, the secret is in the switches. First, pressing the curved arm flips the toggle switch down, and that powers the motor. Then the motor lifts the tray, and it also lifts the kicker off the lever switch. That allows electricity to flow through the rest of the circuit. The kicker keeps moving until it pushes the toggle switch up. That reverses the motor's motion. Finally, the reversing motor brings the tray down and presses the kicker up against the lever switch again. That cuts off the current, and your bot is back to where it started, hungry and ready for its next meal. Thanks so much for building along with us today. If you've enjoyed this video and you want to see more, be sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Nom nom. How does it know when to eat? These are a few of my favorite things. Yeah. It can collect thoughts.